Dobry večer. Hello, welcome. What's up, everyone? My name is Matt Thompson. I'm the Public Affairs Officer at the U.S. Consulate in Yekaterinburg. It's a cold night. What better time to learn some English? Welcome to English You Can Use. Um, this is the program where you learn some English from a native speaker that's real English. You can't get it from a book. And I have on the screen here my good friend and Lisa. She's going to be join us in a little bit. But
Good
before we get to
evening.
hello, can you say hello?
Hello, good evening.
And everybody else, please say good evenings and welcome. I, I guess it's been 2 weeks, but last week we had a great chat. If you didn't catch it with Marina Milguko about entrepreneurship, it was fantastic. I hope you had a chance to see it. If you didn't, go back. She had a great story about a startup she started in Silicon Valley. But tonight's about English, and this week is, do you know what holiday it is in the United States? It's one of the biggest. It's called Thanksgiving. It'll be on Thursday. It's always on Thursday. So a lot of us Americans who are here in Russia are wanting to be home with family, but we're here with our families here or our friends. And it's kind of hard this year to be thankful because of the pandemic. It's been a rough year, probably for everybody. But I'm going to try to be thankful tonight. And I'm going to share just one short story with you that I'm thankful for my family and my friends and the opportunity to live and work here in Russia. But I'm going to go back to, I'm really, really thankful. I was a teacher in the Peace Corps how many years ago? 2004. That set me on this course to be here in Russia. And it was part of it. You can say it's kind of was like an exchange program. I worked and lived in a very, very small town in Bulgaria, about 3,000 people. I had never really been outside of the United States before that. I'd been to Canada once or twice. And so tonight we're going to talk about exchanges and the power of them with Lisa. But first, I want you to tell me what you're thankful for. And you don't have to write it right away in the comments. I also have some trivia for you, so please give participate, try. This is your opportunity to get better, to work on your listening skills and also your writing skills. So let's get started. I'm going to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving slang. Well, there's not really Thanksgiving slang, but here are some words that you won't really find. It would be hard to find in the dictionary and they're related to Thanksgiving. So the first one, ooh, that's not the, I gave away one. The first one is to gobble up. Does anybody know what it means to gobble up? Well, let's move on to the next slide. I'll show you. To gobble up. And I'm going to start putting the comments on the screen as they come, okay? If I can put it here. There we go. To gobble up is to eat something completely and very quickly. So this is a perfect one for Thanksgiving. I gobbled up all the turkey. I gobbled up all the pie. I want to gobble up all the food on the table. It's a very colloquial thing to say. It just means eat. Uh, it's very common. All right, let's move to the next one. Cold turkey. Does anybody know what cold turkey means? Cold turkey is not what I have here on the screen. It doesn't literally mean a cold turkey. It actually means to quit something immediately. So what this commonly is used in is like to stop smoking or stop eating fatty foods, something that's bad for you. You say, "Oh, I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to go cold turkey. I'm going to go cold turkey." So you can use that in your vocabulary. It means when you're going to stop doing something. And Eva put up a question here, said, is the same. Is that the same meaning as binge? Binge just means you overeat. Gobble up just means you just eating something really quickly right in front of you. Not quite the same, but fairly similar. Let's see. Next one. Food coma. Okay, so this is a pretty simple one. You know the word for food. You know the word coma, right? So it means you kind of pass out after a meal. You're feeling very, very sleepy. And there's this theory, or I don't know if it's a myth, that there's a chemical in turkey, and if you eat too much of it, then you get very sleepy afterwards. I don't know if it's true or not, but um, it happens. I've been there. I've been like this guy. Not quite that bad. This way. Next one. Turkey trot. So this is very specific to the United States, maybe in Canada too. A turkey trot. To trot, you might know that's like to walk, like brisk, like not fast, but not slowly. And a turkey trot is, again, well, I got to turn off all my WhatsApp. People are calling me right now during our show. It's a fun run held on Thanksgiving Day. So many towns and many cities all across the United States, a fun activity is for people to dress up and to go run 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers. My wife used to do it all the time. That was one of her favorite things to do, was to participate in a turkey trot. All right. Hello, Misha. Say hello if you want to. I haven't seen a lot of you. It's been so many months now. I see here. Svetlana, hello. So let's go to the last one, tofurkey. So this might be a little bit weird. I'm a vegetarian, vegan, so I don't eat turkey. So this is a product that came out many years ago. It's actually a company, but now it's kind of like Kleenex, or a product that just becomes so popular. Google, nobody says go search something on the internet. They say go Google it. Same thing for tofurkey. It's seitan, or it's soy. It's not real meat, but you can make it into, it tastes a little bit like turkey. Some people like it. Some people do not like it. I'll leave that up to you. All right. Yeah, Natasha got it right. It's the vegan version of turkey. Are you vegan or vegetarian, Natasha? All right, so let's go to our next exercise. And this is called our translation challenge. And you guys are pretty good at English. I want you to see if you can put this into the English equivalent. Kashu maslam ni isportish. Isportish? So I'll give you a minute or two. And while I'm talking again, think about what you're thankful for. This is really, this is a cultural trait in the United States. That's why we gather together. Yeah, it's to get together with family and to be with one another. But there is a particular moment always before the meal where everybody does kind of say what they're thankful for, and they try to reflect to be grateful for what they have. And it's a nice tradition. It's something we all need this year because it's been so hard. Anyway, I won't get too serious right now. Kashu maslam ni isportish. Does anybody know how to translate that into English? Natasha, you're vegan, but you've never tried tofurkey? It's actually okay. I like it. So I'll give you the English version because I don't see anybody right now getting it. But this is what the equivalent I think it would be. You can never have too much of a good thing. I don't know, does that make sense to you, Russian speakers? Tell me if you disagree, okay? All right, let's move on to our next one. I forgot to show you. We're going to do something in weird English, but I forgot to show you my dog. That's Frida. She always sits here in the room with me. You can see in the background. Frida's really tired. She goes out for walks. It's a tough life. She walks during the cold, and then she has to come back in and curl up. Frida? She kind of woke up. Not really. All right. So this is a segment I want to start doing called Weird English, where uh, I have no explanation why the rules are in grammar this way, but they are. So we're gonna go through it. These are words that don't have plural forms. So there's no S ever. And I see Russian speakers every once in a while mix this up, and it's really common. It's understandable, so I'm not take I don't hold it against them. Number one, I'm going to give you a few examples. So remember this. You can take this away tonight. Just put this in the back of your head. Furniture. There's never a time when you can say there's a lot of furnitures here. So don't ever put the S on it. People will understand you if you use this, if you go to the US and you use it, but they might look at you funny. It's not a big deal. These are just if you want to get your English just to a little higher level. Okay. Next one. I hear this sometimes. Information. I don't know in Russian. Can you say много информации? Is it много информация? Information is always just information, no S. So do not make it plural. A lot of information, very little information, information, all the same. And the same thing goes for knowledge, and I definitely know this is different than Russian. You can't say he is a person with a lot of knowledges. Oh, thanks, Elena. Elena's saying it's only singular in Russian too. Well, there we go. We have another thing in common. Grammatically, there's few though. Let me tell you, when it comes to grammar and other language rules, knowledge is only singular all the time. So just remember that. It's no big deal if you say knowledges, but if you want to make your language perfect, just avoid it. Homework. I hear this sometimes from students. Then the teacher assigned me many homeworks and I could not come. Homework is just one. Even though it could be many assignments, homework is just singular. Okay? Remember that one. And advice. I do hear this too. Because in Russian, I think it is plural. In English, you can't only say it one way. Advice. She gave me a lot of advice about life. There's no a lot of advices. Okay. And Nadia says, thank you, Nadia, for Russian words for furniture and information are the same in singular. It's good for me to know so I don't screw that up when I speak Russian. All right, let's go. Do I have one more? Yes. And last one, baggage. Is this one different in Russian? Bagage? Bagaja? Bagaji? I don't think so. I think it might be the same. So in English, just keep baggage all the same. You can have many suitcases, but you can only have a lot of baggage. So when you go to the airport in the US, you can just say, I'm looking for my baggage, my mini baggage. My baggage, it's lost. Hope it doesn't happen to you, but if you have to. That reminds me of some stories that there's many situations here in Russia where I get stuck in scenarios that I've never had before, and then I try to speak, and people look at me funny because I've never said these words. And I'm sure if you went to the US and you speak English pretty well, but maybe then you get in a situation that you've never thought about, and now you don't know that key word in the scenario that you need. But don't fret, just keep trying. Just like me when I tried to fill up my car with gas the other day, and I didn't know the word for the kolonka. I didn't know I mispronounced the word for my car. My car is silver, and I said it was siri. I wanted seri. I wanted it to be gray, but she probably thought it was cheesy. Siri. She looked at me funny. Anyway, my point is, I understand your pain in learning English. Okay, so let's go to our interview here. What do we have? Where we go? I'm going to go back up to the top. Sorry. All right. Let me even get us clapping. So Lisa, good evening.
Yay. Good evening. Hey, everybody. Hi, Matt.
So this is, I know her as Lisa, but Elisabetta, Golusova. She is a associate professor and instructor at Ural Federal University in media studies and journalism. And I've gotten to know her over the few years. She is an excellent, excellent English speaker. I mean, almost native speaker, I would say. And so, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, first of all, let's talk about how did you get to speak English so well? What did you do to get to that level?
Okay. I think first it's because I had a very good teacher at school. It was the first grade. I started learning English when I was 7, and it was a special how we call it grammar-oriented school where some of the subjects were taught in English, and we had a lot of English lessons, maybe 5 or 7, even during the first grade. And we had a brilliant teacher. She was. For me, she was the true embodiment of the British culture because she had this British accent and she was talking about her internship in Great Britain, and she was so strict, but in the way teacher needs to be strict. She would make us learn the rules, pronounce the words correctly, and first we didn't understand it as kids, and I didn't pay attention. I thought, oh my god, let me have my break, I want to go away, finally I want to go home. But then later I realized how important it was, and then of course I was fortunate to participate in a wonderful flex program. I think that added to my ability to speak freely and to use language in the way you can play with the words, you can understand the humor, you can uh, you can practically feel the spirit of the language. Of course, I'm not a native speaker, and there are still plenty of things that I don't know. But it's wonderful when I listen to some of the news, when I talk to some of the sophisticated scholar experts, and I know that, oh God, I understand what they're talking about. I know what you mean. That's great. That makes you feel happy.
Well, no, your English is almost impeccable, and your pronunciation is really, really good. But
Thanks.
let's go back. Maybe one of the key moments you hit upon an exchange program that you went on in 1994.
Yes,
As
that's correct.
you were 16 years old, and you became one of the first participants of the Flex program. And for those of you who don't
Yes.
know what the Flex program is, it is an exchange program for high school students to go live one academic year in the United States. They live with a host family. They study at American University, public university, and I was not ready for that at that age. But the advantage is that it's a really great opportunity for you to improve your English because you're around it all the time. Unfortunately, the Flex program is no longer operating in Russia. It stopped in 2014 when the Russian government decided to pull out of that exchange program. What was the most valuable thing or the most interesting thing you got out of that opportunity?
Yeah, that's a very good question because I often think about how my life would have changed and what I would be doing if it wasn't for this program. And I can't imagine because it's part of my life now. And for many situations, for many questions that I ask myself at the moment, I keep asking myself throughout my life. I know that the answer lies somewhere where my experience is, my cross-cultural experiences. So it was not just well, of course, I was able to communicate in English all the time. I spoke English with my host family, with my sisters. I had two wonderful host sisters, with my father and mother, who were very happy to have me. They had this genuine interest in Russian culture, and we had this long conversations with my host parents, with my friends at school. And yes, this helped me to learn more of the slang, to learn some of the expressions, to learn more about academic things, and to be able to comprehend all the tricky ideas expressed by my classmates in the US. But I think the most valuable thing that I've learned is the ability to see similarities where you think you see the differences. And what I knew, what I heard before my trip, what I knew about the U.S. culture Well, I heard something from my father, from my grandfather, who loved traveling, and they both been to the U.S. But we didn't get much information about American culture life in the U.S. So I really was happy to see it with my own eyes. And what I discovered was that people, despite of some differences in mentality, and some ideas about, well, you have your society is more individualistic. We used to be more collectivistic, right? Now we're kind of shifting towards individualism, but not 100%, but still. Despite of all that, still, I think that we share many basic values, many things that are at the basis of the human value, and we think of them in a similar way. We all want to be secure, we all want to be loved, we all want to have friends around us, we all want to communicate and to be understood. And I think that when you become more cross-culturally aware, you can benefit from this throughout your life. And then later, I was thinking about my future career. I came back, I still had my senior year at high school, and I was thinking, okay, what do you want to do? Finally, I decided to join the Department of Journalism. I applied, and my cross-cultural experience has been so helpful because whenever we would have a foreign guest, a foreign scholar, a foreign speaker, I would be so eager to communicate. I volunteered to interpret, I volunteered to translate, I volunteered to show our guests around the city, and I've learned a lot about new cultures. So becoming cross-cultural aware, I think, is one of the advantages that this program gives.
Absolutely, and it goes both ways. As you said, your host family in the United States probably learned a lot about Russia just by being
I
around.
have
And
yes.
that is the beauty of these types of opportunities. It goes both ways. It was a great opportunity for you to see more about the United States in detail, but they learned probably a lot from you. And that's really, really valuable for Americans to be exposed to that. Um, so it's almost Thanksgiving. Can you tell us a little bit about what a real, like a, not a real, but a typical American family, how they celebrate Thanksgiving? And how you processed that when you were seeing it for the first time. You were in Gulf Breeze, Florida, is that right?
Yes, right. That's
So,
correct. Yes.
so after this, I'm going to say well, how they celebrate in Gulf Breeze, Florida is probably the same as how they do it in Vermont, in Minnesota, Nevada, North Carolina, and California. For most meals, we kind of, it depends on the place and the person and their traditions, but Thanksgiving is pretty uniform in many ways. But how did you celebrate it?
Okay, first of all, I must admit that for me, it came as a surprise to have such a great holiday where all the family members would get together. For my family, of course, it was natural because my host sisters were studying the same high school and we were all living together. But I also heard that some of the senior students, for instance, those who were in the universities and in the colleges, they would come home for this break because it's you celebrate it on Thursday and then you're off on Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday, so it's a long weekend.
Hmm.
And for us here, it's I think the only family holiday we would have it would be New Year. So if you think of additional holidays, we don't have that much. Well, not talking about this 2 weeks after the in January after the New Year, but in the US, I really love this idea because it brings families together, it brings people together, and we were all preparing, we were all talking about that. My friends at high school were asking, what are you planning to do? What are you going to do? And I said, I don't know. For me, it's the first Thanksgiving, so I was anticipating something special, something really exciting. And what happened? Yes, it was a very special family dinner. We had turkey. We had pumpkin pie. I think we ordered some food from KFC, which I loved. I fell in love with KFC.
Yeah,
We had
I can
some
see that
buns,
happening.
yeah,
Yeah.
some mashed potatoes. And what was so special and funny in a way, we had a pet. We actually had three pets: a bird, a cat, and a wonderful dog. It was a cocker spaniel. And she was so actively involved in family life. Every time we would get together for dinner, she would join us. And the girls sometimes would sneak, and she would sneak under the table asking for food. Although my host parents did not allow this, they were not in favor of this idea, but girls would go, "Oh, we want to share with you." So for Thanksgiving, I think we all got together. We started to, well, we said this prayer, thankful. We were expressing our gratitude to people around us. And I was learning so much because we don't have such a habit here. We don't have such a tradition here. For me, it was something new. And I think it's brilliant to show appreciation and gratitude.
Well,
So we had a lot of food. Yeah.
I think though, like on
It-
New Year's Eve, people get together and it's a very warm thing for Russian culture, more so than Americans do. And so maybe that's the equivalent or something similar in many ways. Or
yeah. In a way, yes, I would say so. In a way, yeah, probably. So it was a very nice family dinner with turkey, of course. No hot tea, but some cold drinks, some typical American drinks. But it was all right, and I really love this evening because. With my host family, we would normally get together and talk about our life. Girls and I would share our experience about school, and my parents would ask me how is life. And this time we were just talking more probably about American history and Thanksgiving, which I really appreciated. And yes, I loved it.
wonderful. Well, I'm glad you had a very positive experience. You liked the food, and I think it's something neat to be a part of. And every country around the world has something similar to this. But this week is kind of the United States moment for that. So,
Yes,
and thanks for sharing about
absolutely.
your experience in Florida as well. I want to
Thank
go
you.
back to everybody out there. Please leave something in the comments about what you're thankful for or something you appreciate, something you're grateful for. Um, I'm grateful for I'm here in Russia right now, but I told you the thing I'm most grateful for was I was a journalist at the time, and I decided I wanted to live abroad. I don't know why I did at the time, but it was the right choice. I went to Bulgaria, and I had a really wonderful time, and that led me on a path to diplomacy. So it's a long, windy road, but I'm here now. So um, getting to talk with all of you. So, Lisa, thanks again. I wish you all the best in this holiday season as we can come to Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and New Year's. So, I hope all is
Thank
well
you,
with you.
Matt, for Thank you, Matt, for inviting me. It was a pleasure to talk to you and to remember all the experience that I had. Really enjoyed this conversation. Thank
Me too.
you.
We'll see you soon. Take care.
Thank you. Stay safe, everyone. Thanks.
So, that's our show tonight. I can send it over. Let me send you. This is what Frida thinks. Hey, Frida. Yeah, she usually joins me in these programs. She's a good girl. Uh, But I want to wish you happy Thanksgiving to all of you if who are celebrating or not celebrating. Thanks for joining us. If you have ideas for topics um, or want to learn more, or you don't agree with me with something how I explained it, please let me know. I always look through the comments and I answer them personally. And I hope we can meet in another 2 weeks as we get here closer to Christmas. Have a great night. Be kind and keep an open mind. Take care. Good night.